Okay. All right, we're going to call to order the public hearing of the Board of Trustees of the Batavia Public Library District for July 19th, 2016. Let's call the roll for this public hearing.
Okay. All right. Blodgett.
Here.
Deichman.
Here.
Penders.
Here.
Schuster. I'm here. Sullivan.
Here.
Von Lunen. No. Okay. Smith.
Here.
Okay.
All right, we have a quorum for our public hearing. So our public hearing is an ordinance approving and adopting the annual budget and appropriation for the fiscal year 2016-17. So for the record, I'll read this ordinance. Section 1, this is a public hearing on an ordinance approving and adopting the annual budget and appropriation for library purposes for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2016 and ending June 30, 2017. Section 2, in accordance with Illinois statutes, the Library District published a legal notice of public hearing on Thursday, June 23. This notice was published in the Kane County Chronicle. Section 3, the ordinance in tentative form was available for public inspection for at least 30 days prior to this hearing at the reference desk and the business office of the Batavia Public Library during regular library hours. Section 4, if there is any person who desires to present testimony to the taxing district represented by this Board of Library Trustees, please step forward at this time. Okay. Seeing none, we can make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by Deichman, second by Schuster. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our public hearing is adjourned. Thank you. All right, now let's call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia Public Library District for Tuesday, July 19th. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and a roll call, please.
Blodgett.
Here.
Deichman.
Here.
Penders.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Sullivan.
Here.
Schuster here. Von Lunen is absent.
Okay. Item 4, comments from the audience. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5, which is this evening's consent agenda, consisting of minutes from our regular session on June 21st, minutes from our closed session on June 21st, expenditures from June of 2016, and the action item being the ordinance that we just held the public hearing on, our budget and appropriation for fiscal year 2016-17. Do I have a motion to approve the, all right, let me ask first if there's any trustee who would like any of those items to be removed for a separate vote. Okay, we can make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Blodgett and second by Henders. You can do a roll call on that, please.
Sure. Blodgett.
Aye.
Deichman.
Aye.
Penders.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Schuster. Aye.
Okay, our consent agenda is approved as submitted. Item 6 is tonight's regular agenda. We do have one suggested addition, which is, we'll call it 13.5, a closed session for the purposes of litigation. So can I hear a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Schuster and second by Blodgett. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, our agenda is amended and approved. Okay, item 7 is financial reports. So we did have a report in our packet here. Joe, do you have anything you'd like to highlight for us?
Not particularly, other than the year is done.
Okay.
Any accruals, I think are going to be fairly minor. I picked up a few more accounts payables in the last 2 weeks. So right now we're sitting on a gain in the library fund of about 34,000. And I think it'll be somewhere around that. And then the other funds are up about 44,000.
All right, questions for Joe? All right, thank you. Okay, item 8 is President's Report. I don't have anything to report this month. So we can move on to item 9, which is good news or comments from the board. Does anybody have anything to share this evening? Okay. Moving right along then to item 10, correspondence and communications. It looks like we have none this month. Okay, moving on to item 11, directors and librarians reports from June. George has a memo for us in the packet. Looks like circulation is back on the upswing after
It is.
some periods of decline.
In large part, I think, due to automatic renewals, but
Yeah.
it was a good year. Nothing particularly to report about the statistical reports other than this is the full fiscal year. So it was a good year overall. And I added some calculations that were not included last year for, well, actually the unique visitors to the website and the page views were not even in last year's report. We've added that during the course of the fiscal year and added a complete year summary in terms of statistics per day and hour and things like that, which are sort of interesting. It gives a snapshot of how busy the library can be on the average. So, we have our annual peek at technical services in here. It starts is on page 3. Some information that Carrie provides on some of the repairs and things that we don't usually talk about throughout the course of the year that she wanted to share with you. And then also included, probably for the first time, some information on a service we have called Print from Anywhere, which is, as I describe it, a great but lesser known special service. And there's quite a large amount of printing done throughout each month through over the Wi-Fi or the internet. So,
How does one take advantage of that service?
actually, I haven't used it personally. Stacy, how does one access that service?
We get that question a lot at the reference desk. From the library homepage, under the Find It Fast heading, there's a link to Print from Anywhere. And that will take you to an information page with an additional, it will tell you some of the information about costs and so forth. And then there's a link to the actual page where you'll either upload the document or paste the web address of the item that you'd like to print.
Okay.
And then you can submit it. You can do that from home. For example, we have people who sometimes will say that their printer is on the blink, and they'll send it from home, and then they'll come in and record in the computer room as though it were any other print shop.
Awesome.
And where do you pick them up?
In the computer room.
Oh, okay.
They'll pay for it at the print release station there, and pick it up right there from the printer.
Color printing would be nice.
Yeah, really.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. So those are the highlights I've got in here for this year. So
Okay.
that was a good question. So I guess on to Joanne and Stacy.
Any questions for George on his report? Okay. Joanne, hello.
Hello? Well, we have just about 2.5 weeks to go yet of Summer Reading Club. So we're still pretty busy with programming and logbooks and all that kind of stuff. We're nearly within single digits of 2,000 children in Summer Reading Club. So it's not our highest year, but it's still pretty much on on track with last year, which is pretty typical with school-age children in the community. I'm sending around just a few pictures. I made the poster this time so it doesn't look as beautiful as the one that Hans usually puts together for us, but just a few of the programs that we've been doing this summer. I probably mentioned this last month, but in addition to logbooks and kids coming in for that, we run over 90 programs during the summertime, so that's often, we have at least one program every day during the weekdays, sometimes on the weekends, and sometimes we're having 2 or 3 programs in a particular day. So it is very busy. Today we had 3 programs in youth services and 1 is going on right now. So it's a busy time, but there's a lot of fun going on. There was an American Girl Party, a book buddy program, and a lot of great science and just fun. We went to Brazil with 4th through 8th graders and had a special guest telling us a little bit about Brazil, and we talked about the Olympics, which are just around the corner. So that was a very interesting program. We also had baby sign language. We had a yoga program for young children, 2 to 8-year-olds. So we've had a lot of variety of events this year for children. Coming up this Thursday is the 3rd of the babysitting workshops that we're offering this summer, and those were sponsored by our Library Foundation this year, so we were very appreciative of that. All 3 classes filled very, very quickly, so we were very happy about that. And next Thursday, I just wanted to point out there's a juggling show. This is the last of the big family events for the summer, so next Thursday at 7 p.m. here at the library will be a juggling show. And as I mentioned, August 3rd, or maybe I haven't mentioned, about 2.5 weeks from now will be August 3rd, and that'll be the end of Summer Reading Club that day. So if you're still reading, get your logbooks in by that day, and we encourage everybody to do that. So, any questions? And we're starting to get geared up for fall. I was at Mooseheart today, and Amanda and I have been sharing that responsibility, so that has been working out. And we got a very nice thank you from the gentleman there. Now his name is escaping me.
Gary Irwiner? No.
The guy who's in charge, the gentleman who's in charge of the summer camp.
Oh.
Who's coordinating us coming.
Okay.
Dave, maybe? I can't remember either. But he was very appreciative of the library coming, as well as those people who are volunteering to help read with those students. And I have to tell you, in the few times that I've gone, the children are really enjoying that, and they're enjoying that one-on-one connection, and Amanda's getting the same response at Batavia Apartments, so that's been really great programs for us. So thank you on your help on doing that as well. So, any questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy, welcome.
Thanks. A couple of announcements. Our One Book, One Batavia book for 2017 has been selected by the committee. We are going to be reading the book Born Survivors, 3 Young Mothers and Their Extraordinary Story of Courage, Defiance, and Hope by Wendy Holden. It's a true story, nonfiction book about 3 babies born in a concentration camp during World War II who survived due to the efforts of many people who helped that happen. Wow. And they're alive today. Really so a remarkable story. So we're looking forward to having many copies of that book available and developing some programming around those themes. On a sadder note, well, on a different note, live homework help has been discontinued. This is due to a lack of interest on the part of the school district to co-sponsor live homework help, which is a fairly expensive program that we would not be able to foot on our own. So that was discontinued as of July 1st. We have a notice on the website to that effect. I am going to be meeting with school district officials in the fall to talk about another way that we can collaborate, probably on another online resource of some sort. So I'll keep you posted as that develops. Our next new Lyceum lecture is on the calendar. That's going to take place September 6th. Brian Yantis, a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, is going to present 9/11, a Pentagon survivor's story. And this is co-sponsored by the Rotary Club of Batavia. We're looking forward to hearing what he has to say on that topic. And that's, yeah. 15 years this year, as Doug mentioned. So that presentation, September 6th, 7 o'clock. And I've also included a fiscal year recap for adult services, which appears in the report as well, highlighting some of the new services as well as some of the statistics for the year. So, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so item 12, committee reports. Committees did not meet in the first half of July here, so we don't have reports on any of those, but we can start with 12E, the foundation.
Sure. Well, the last meeting, we were just still continuing to, there's a committee that is working on the map, Save the Maps. We will be at the farmer's market on July 30th, handing out information to the public about saving the maps and hopefully raising some volunteers and some donations for that project. So we've been working diligently on getting prepared for that. And at the last meeting, we came up with an idea to raise funds in general just for the foundation, not just for this particular project, but to continue to support the programs like the babysitting experience for kids. We're thinking about doing a trivia night, and it would be November 12th, and you'll hear more about it because we're going to be requesting that the board approve having alcoholic beverages at the event, this trivia event. And so the board will have to give us pass that information. So anyway, so that's what's going on with the foundation right now.
All right.
And yeah.
Okay, questions for Kara about those? All right. 12G is Link. George, anything there?
The regular meeting that was scheduled for the earlier part of the month, the date had gotten changed to a time when I had local commitments, so I missed the July meeting. Based on my understanding, they're continuing to talk about the transition to Swan that's coming up, and also a reminder for those trustees that are able to do so that the question and answer session in Bloomingdale that several of you said you could attend is coming up early in August. So we can send out a further reminder, but I want to make sure I mention that.
Okay. Questions for George about that? Okay. And then 12H is BATV. Kara, anything to report there?
Just look, we did pass, we are in agreement now with the franchise agreement, and so that's great. We're getting some funding coming in. One of the things that you should be looking out for is that we're going to be we started a new marketing plan, so there's going to be some new logo type things going on, so you can look forward to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions for Kara about BATV? Okay, item 13 is future agenda items. There's a memo in our packet here for upcoming things. George, anything to highlight here?
Well, the big thing is Joanne and Kathy have been organizing and scheduling the action teams. So the three trustees are involved with that, I think, have received communications related to that. And that's probably the big thing because we want to get that process completed. And in August, it's time to certify the public library annual report to the state. So we've started the process of working on that. Leah in the office has distributed the questionnaires to the managers for that. So those are the two big things.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then item 13.5 is our closed session for the purposes of litigation. So I will call for a motion to recess from open session and go into closed session. Moved by Blodgett.
Second.
And second by Smith. All in favor?
Aye.